Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Got a bunch of really interesting things for you guys today, including a new feature that may be adopted on the XRP ledger. I've got financial results from SBI. Those came out today. And we've got some bullish news coming from a TD Ameritrade employee via video. So I'll be sharing the links. You can watch that video if you want to too. But he's talking big picture price-wise, what could be happening in 2019. Bullish sentiments all around there. But I want to say real quick before we get rocking and rolling here, if you would hit the like, give me a thumbs up. I definitely really appreciate it. Helps a small channel like mine actually be seen in a sea of very good content creators within the XRP community. So really appreciate that. And if you would be willing to hit subscribe so you can hear some more in the future. And please feel free to drop some comments in the comment section below. I love hearing from everybody. The reason that I'm doing this, again, like I've said before in previous videos, it's just to be more engaged in the XRP community because this is my favorite hobby that I've ever had, actually. It's just a lot of fun. All right, so this I wanted to cover first. So this is a tweet from Nick. I could be potentially butchering this. Nick Bugalis? God, I'm maybe one of those is right. Anyway, he's a Ripple employee. He's a cryptographer and software engineer leading the C++ team at Ripple. And I've been following him for quite a while, and I was just scrolling through my feed, and this popped up. And his tweet says, and this is from today, had a chance to chat with Vitalik Buterin, who of course is Ethereum co-founder. Had a chance to chat with Vitalik Buterin at SBC 19 and talk about the deletable accounts feature I'm implementing for XRP Ledger. And I thought, what? Deletable accounts? What's this all about? I've not heard about this. And as it turns out, it actually had been discussed. Here's another thread. I'm going to link to this too, but there was a thread about implementing deletable accounts, and Nick actually participated in this. He is on xrpchat.com. And this was interesting. So there are a number of reasons that they're looking to implement it, but I'll tell you the reason that I'm interested in this on a personal level, and I hope it applies to me, but when I jumped into crypto in December of 2017, it was before the bulk of that crazy rally came in December, and it was before the price of XRP had gotten above, I don't know if it was 22, 25 cents at that point, whatever it was. And I was just trying to purchase my first XRP. And actually, the first place I purchased it, so actually this would be November of 2017, it was on GateHub. And since then, I'd purchased on a few different exchanges for various reasons, and I'd taken that all off, and I use a Ledger Nano S, which I got in December of 2017, so all of it's off, with the exception of what remains on GateHub, because that reserve balance, you guys may be aware, with XRP, you have to place a reserve, and it's to prevent spamming, and there's still a 20 XRP reserve, so I've still got that on GateHub, and I don't know what the technical reason for it is, because I was able to take all of my XRP off of, for instance, Binance. 100% of that got off Binance. The reserve effect, for whatever reason, I guess because the exchange is a gateway, it didn't account, but then for some reason with GateHub itself, it can't take that 20 off. So anyway, the reason that I found this interesting is because if this were implemented, you could actually delete your account and actually get your reserve back. And so I thought, oh, that'd be nice, because right now my 20 XRP on GateHub, it's just kind of sitting there in limbo and I can't even touch it. So I just kind of thought, well, if I could get that back, that'd be kind of snazzy. I'd take that. But anyway, and I'll link to all of this, and there are other use cases that they were talking about it, but I just want to kind of mention it to you because I hadn't heard this before, and I guess this discussion on XRP chat got going towards the beginning part of November, and I just happened to miss it. There's just so much news out there, it's impossible to capture it all, so I'm just sharing what I can with you guys, and feel free to throw some stuff my way if you think it's interesting. Maybe we could talk about it on the channel here too. All right, next up, and this particular article is from Cointelegraph, titled SBI Reports Financial Results, Recognizes Ripple for Cross-Border Payments. And there's a couple reasons I found this particularly interesting beyond just this specific writing within this Cointelegraph piece, but I'll read a couple little snippets here for you. They write, in the section titled Business Area Separation of Ripple and R3, SBI featured Ripple as an entity specializing in international remittance, while R3 is responsible for developing projects that are not limited to financial industry by using smart contract-based technology. So it's just neat because this report, mind you, this is a big financial report for a major corporation. This is not some crypto-centric piece of writing that was published by SBI, but just to get an idea of how serious they are about Ripple, R3, XRP, cryptocurrency in general, it's all in here. It's neat to see that. SBI also emphasized that XRP is the first cryptocurrency that is supported by R3's Corda settler, which we've discussed previously on the channel here. The recently launched decentralized application allows payment obligations on the Corda blockchain to be settled via all global payment systems, both traditional and blockchain-based. And I think that's kind of significant, and I was talking about this the other day. The Corda settler, it allows payment. The payment system allows transactions on traditional payment rails and blockchain-based rails, and that could help with adoption. I mean, kind of ease people into the technology, perhaps, right? You can start conducting on this, and then when you're ready, use the blockchain-based stuff. And as we know with the settler, it enabled XRP. It's actually, to start, the only cryptocurrency that's enabled by the Corda settler. And then I went to this. This is the actual release from SBI Holdings. And no way I'm ever going to read this. This is 155 pages. This is a legit document here. Just look at me scrolling through this here. So why did I pull it up? Well, anytime, just as a little tip for you guys, anytime you're looking at a major document like this, you're like, oh, I kind of want to get the nice tidbits in here that might be pertinent to me, might be interesting, but there's no way I'm going to read the 155 pages. Well, my friends, let me enlighten you. We have what's called the search function. Press Control, hold down Control, and press F. Look at my top right of my screen. You can type for here, let's search for XRP, and there are 8 results in 155 pages. So let's scroll through and see if there's anything worth talking about here. I think there were a couple things that I kind of glanced through that I thought might be worth bringing up. Let's see here. Full-scale efforts. Yeah, this piece is titled, this is in the major report, 155 pages. On page 127, yeah, try weeding through that without the search function. Advancing the use of blockchain and other new technologies at individual group companies to accelerate the shift to FinTech 2.0. I like that, FinTech 2.0, because they get the picture. This is one of the most forward-thinking companies as it pertains to the cryptocurrency asset class. They really get it. And they're very business oriented, and that's why they're so laser focused on XRP, because it has actual utility, and I love it. And so to have this in a major report like this and calling it FinTech 2.0, I love it. Full scale efforts towards increasing financial services using US R3's Corda and XRP use cases. Bam, right here in it. Moving on. Let's see if we got another one worth looking at here. Full-scale efforts towards increasing financial services using R3's Corda and XRP use cases. Oh, and so they got a few things here. Okay, so they wrote establishment of joint venture with US R3. Okay, we know about that. Expand utilization of S-Coin platform. Now, this is a new thing, and I just Googled it a little bit before I started this video. This is another one of those news stories that, for me at least, slipped through the cracks. Maybe you guys heard about this, but I think the story came out, it may have been September of 2018, so it's not that old, but I did miss it, and I don't have a lot of details. Maybe I can cover it more when I learn more in a future video, but from high level, what I learned about it is basically they're implementing, it's a retail platform, so again, end users, just, retail transactions, and they wanted to interface, it's cryptocurrency, blockchain, and they want it to work with R3's technology. And that collaboration is actually happening, and we know that, again, R3's technology uses Corda settler, so what could transactions be settled with? Potentially R3. And I'd still want to know what that would look like, because you need pools of liquidity. But, and again, S-Coin, I still got to learn about that, but I just want to point that out. And if you guys know anything about that, or can share in the comment section below if you've got anything to share, because again, this is something that is new to me. I know a lot about this stuff, but there's so much going on. I'm never going to know anything, and I'm not a know-it-all. So feel free to share with me anything you like. Okay. All right. Let's see what else we got here. This is talking about XRP, leveraging XRP using Corda, releasing the settler with R3. You guys know about that. I've talked about it in recent videos. I don't want to cover all that again. Promoting Corda and XRP. Yeah. So then search for Ripple, though, and I'll be real quick with this because I don't want to hover on this document for too long in this video, but there's one thing that I saw. They bolded it in red, and so I wanted to point this one out. If I can find it. Where is it? Declared. There we go. R3 Ripple solution. I love that they put this in red. The confidence. And so what we're looking at here is business area separation of Ripple and R3. And then this is R3/Ripple solution, in underlined and in red. Become a global standard for financial operations such as international money transfers and trade finance. Boom! Man, talk about ambitious. I mean, do you understand, like, what they're saying there? Like, if they're able to achieve this, how world-changing that is, it's incredible. Just the boldness of it, I absolutely love it. So I just wanted to share that with you guys anyway. On to the next piece here. This is just a fun little one. I watched this video. It's you guys watch the Ripple drop? That's what this is. I watch it. It's only about 2 minutes, usually about 2 minutes. And as you guys probably know, the smallest unit inside of one single XRP is called a drop. And one XRP is divisible 1 million times. So there's 1 million tiny units inside of one XRP, and each one of those tiny units is called a drop. And so Ripple calls this video, because they're just short little cutesy style videos, they call it the Ripple drop. And this is the first one of 2019, I believe. It features Ripple CTO David Schwartz and his thoughts on it's kind of the difference between the blockchains of XRP and Ripple and Ethereum, a few other little things. And they have one of the customers in there citing some stuff, so I'm going to link to that. Just want to point that out. They released this one today, and I think these things are fun to watch anyway. All right, next. This is from CoinDesk. Binance users can now pay for crypto with credit cards. What do you guys think about that? How about some financial responsibility, investing in a highly volatile asset class using credit cards? Okay. So there's a couple ways to look at this. I'm going to read a couple snippets and I'll tell you what I think about this. Okay. Let's see. This is a quote from. Is this from CZ? It is CZ, the CEO of Binance. The crypto industry is still in its early stages, and most of the world's money is still in fiat, said Binance CEO Changpeng Zhao, if I'm saying that right. He goes by CZ for a reason, okay, guys? So give me a break if I said that wrong, all right? Building fiat gateways is what we need now to grow the system, increase adoption, and introduce crypto to more users. What's a fun spin on it? Get behind that, can't we, right? He is right about that. That'll definitely help to get more people into it. I'll say that. That'll take down one of those barriers of jumping into the crypto asset class if you're brand new, that's for sure. Now, there are limitations on this. Let me see if I can find it right here. I read through. Okay, yeah. So, according to Binance's terms and conditions page, some countries are excluded from the service, including Iraq, Cuba, Afghanistan, and Libya. U.S. it is allowed. United States it is, excluding 6 states, which are New York, Connecticut, Hawaii, Georgia, New Mexico, and Washington. I don't live in any of those. You can try and figure out which one I'm in. All right. So that means I can run up a huge credit card transaction on Binance now, right? I don't know if this is actually implemented or not. I'm not sure if they actually. I read this article, and I don't know that I saw a date or if it's actually live or what, unless I really just read too quickly and missed it. But anyway, so the daily limit is 20,000 per user. That's it? 20,000? Jeez, I need more than that. While the monthly max is $50,000 per user. All right, so I agree with CZ about the on-ramps. Okay, super duper makes it easier. And actually, truth be told, when I jumped into crypto, I did purchase some crypto early on with credit cards, but I'm a rather fiscally responsible individual. I have no credit card debt, and I'm never going to have credit card debt because I spend substantially beneath my means. And so the reason that I did it, and again, I pay off my balances every single month in full. It wasn't a get-rich quick scheme for me, but I did it because there weren't enough on-ramps, frankly. I got into crypto, and then there were limits, as far as transferring funds from my checking account from my bank, getting it onto Coinbase, which was my initial on-ramp. And because Uphold was, that's my favorite one right now, my favorite US to XRP transaction right there. That's my favorite exchange. That's what I do now. That didn't exist, or at least they didn't have XRP at the time. It wasn't live, at least not with fiat conversions. And so it was just as far as getting money into the system, and it was before the major portion of the bull run in December, and I was just like, I can't get money into here. And so it's like, oh, they take they take credit cards. And I was like, oh, okay. So I signed up, and I did use a credit card, but again, I pay mine off in full, so I didn't pay any interest on those transactions whatsoever. It's just like I was frustrated. I couldn't get money onboarded. So anyway, I'm not going to give you financial advice as it pertains to buying or selling anything, but in terms of financial responsibility, I will tell you, man, if you guys are going to use credit cards for this stuff at all, you better make sure that you're buying beneath your means, because credit card debt ain't your friend, and don't assume that, especially in the short term, the prices of cryptos are going to go up, even if you're a long-term believer like I am, meaning that I believe that XRP in particular, maybe some other cryptos, are going to be worth substantially more today than they are now. And I think that it could be life-changing for a lot of people. So I do believe that. I think that we're in the infancy of an asset class with the tiny market cap today of, I think, of about 115 billion. It'll be in the tens of trillions before this is all said and done. That said, it doesn't mean buy these crypto assets with a credit card, because in the short term that could cause you some serious problems. So just be smart with your money. Just some friendly suggestion. That's all it is. Take it for what it's worth. That's it. All right, next up we got Cboe. This is from CoinDesk. Cboe resubmits the VanEck SolidX Bitcoin ETF proposal for SEC approval. Now, I covered this. When did this go down? A little over a week ago, week and a half, something like that. I had a video that included this. Basically, it was stated that this particular ETF proposal was pulled, and the primary culprit for this was the U.S. government shutdown and the talks between the SEC regulators and Cboe and everybody else involved came to a standstill because they weren't working because the government was shut down. Well, I'll read this little piece here. It says, the proposal was withdrawn from consideration earlier this month due to the U.S. government shutdown. At the time, VanEck CEO Jan VanEck explained that the companies filing the rule change proposal had been in talks with the SEC, but these talks ended with the shutdown when the shutdown began. To avoid a probable rejection due to the closure, the proposal was withdrawn. Okay. Prior to that, the VanEck SolidX filing was facing a final decision date of February 27th of this year, after the SEC extended its examination period a number of times. And yes, they did. There were always articles on that every single time. Seems like every couple weeks I was hearing about an extension on this thing getting ruled on. The rule change proposal has not yet been published in the Federal Register, meaning the clock has not yet begun for the SEC to make a decision. Once the proposal is published, the SEC will have a maximum of 240 days to decide whether to approve or reject the proposal. So, given that the conversation wasn't going down with the government shutdown, basically the way it reads to me is that they're basically resetting the clock. And so I don't know that this is going to get approved. It very well could at some point. If so, I don't know when. But I've said it before, and I don't see how at some point this isn't all going to get figured out. I don't see how it couldn't happen to the point where eventually an ETF proposal, whether it's this one or a different one, I couldn't see one of these not eventually getting approved. And maybe that could be a catalyst for the next bull run. Maybe it could. A lot of people are suspecting that it is because of the influx of money that would result from that. But also, I've said before, and I think this is still true, part of the market cycles, it's just there is a function of time that matters extremely. It's of extreme importance, and you just have to see. I think the best thing we could do if you really want to hope for another bull run is to let all the weak hands, get out, let them get out, and then the true believers, I'm one of them, I'm going to stay. I'm going to hold firm. I've only invested what I am willing to lose, and I think it's going to be worth a lot more. Just not financial advice. I'm not a financial professional in any capacity, but I think it will. Just as your everyday Joe that has done a lot of research, I think it makes sense. So we'll see. I don't know for sure if this will be a catalyst, because really with how long this takes, and there could be a bunch more extensions, it could just be the case that enough time passes and people start to slowly creep back in, and that's how these boom and bust market cycles go. People start creeping back in. And I'm actually going to touch on that again. There's one or maybe it is the next story. Yeah, actually, this might be a perfect segue. Did I pull off a perfect segue? Oh, I sort of did. All right, check this out. Here's another CoinDesk piece. February is often good for Bitcoin prices. Will history repeat in 2019? And I'm not going to read this. I've said to you guys before, these types of articles that are about short-term price don't typically interest me because I'm a big picture guy, and basically what they're citing is here. What's it say? January was a good month for cryptocurrency during the 3-year period 2012-2014. Yada yada. February's been great for crypto, but yeah, so the last 5 years has been bad and January has been bad for crypto, Bitcoin's price specifically, and February historically has been very good. And so we're coming up on the record for the longest crypto bear market in history. Didn't look up what the date is prior to this video, but I had seen it, so I don't know if we're like 4, 5, 6, 7 days away. It's coming up here. It's definitely coming up, and I'll tell you, I wouldn't be surprised if this is going to prove to be the longest bear market in history. And I don't know when the next bull run will ever come, or when you'll start to see a legit uptrend. What is it? So the question is, where's the bottom? Have we seen it? I don't know. But, given just the tremendousness in terms of dollars that flew into crypto in December of 2017, once it started tanking, I was just thinking to myself, well, there's the bubble popping. I knew we were in a bubble. I was very convinced of that. You could look at the shape of the graph and not know what asset class it was, and just if you're just any sort of market, to be like, that looks like a bubble. And it was. And I looked at that, and I'm not even professional. I knew that because I listened to enough people that were. And I was like, yeah, okay, that sounds pretty correct. So anyway, once I saw that, I'd say I was very confident that we were going to be in for a rather prolonged bear market. And you can try and calculate things in terms of the percentage correction. The top 4 or 5 corrections, just pulling from memory in Bitcoin's history, they were all in the 80 to 92% range. I think somewhere there about anyway. But when you've got this many people, this many new retail investors, where it balloons to the point where you go from having, at the beginning of 2017, what was the market cap? I can't remember if it was was it 20 billion? I'd really have to go back and look. But going from whatever it was to something like 850 billion, it was so tremendous. I was just like, oh my gosh. My gut was just telling me that we're going to be in for a long bear market. So when I was hearing all sorts of people, as we were entering 2018, talking about, the price of XRP, this or that, by the end of 2018, and I was like, what is this artificial timeline that you're creating where you think there's going to be some bull market just because it's the end of a calendar year? I never bought into that. I just thought that the buy-in was so tremendous. We had such crazy all-time highs. I was pretty confident, again, not making predictions. General sense, I was like, I think this is going to be pretty bad in terms of a bear market. And here we are. So we're probably, if I had to guess, we're probably close to the bottom of the bear market. Maybe we already saw it. Maybe we haven't yet. But it'll go up. And check this out. This is real cool. This was just neat to see this next piece, and this segues perfectly from one to the next to the next. This is from globalcryptopress.com, and this is not an article. This is a video. It's only about 7 minutes, worth watching. It's titled, TD Ameritrade says clients want cryptocurrency investment options. Company plans major announcement in first half of 2019. And so I watched this, and it's got this guy, Sean Cruz, manager, trader strategy, TD Ameritrade. And he was talking about how as the market was beginning to tank and crash, and it got down to the point where the Bitcoin all-time high is close to 20,000. He said by the time it got down to about 10,000, started to see some of their customers getting interested. Oh, it's come down so much. And then it started crashing faster further, and they kind of backed off. And now he says it's at the point where, as it's been hovering for some time around a 3,000 to 4,000 range, Bitcoin has been. He said that he's seen a lot of their customers, TD Ameritrade customers, approach him about investing in Bitcoin because it seems to have settled down more or less. So a lot of people, what I'm saying, in a highly speculative asset class like this, in a highly speculative asset like Bitcoin, it's come down enough where people are starting to say, okay, maybe we'll try it again. And this is part of the market cycle. It's just how market cycles work, and you can see it in the stock market. It's just more pronounced in terms of the speed with which it happens, the volatility. It's much more pronounced in a wild new technology like blockchain technology, cryptocurrencies. It's the same thing that you saw during the .com boom and bust. It's the same type of thing. But anyway, it was neat to see that, and his opinion in terms of price action in 2019, his opinion He thinks that we're going to see a lot of bullish, positive movement over the course of the calendar year 2019. So we'll see. That's his 2 cents. If you want to hear something positive, and he could be right. How much longer can this bear market truly last when there's truly, and keep in mind, during this bear market, it's been the most incredible period in terms of progress in implementing actual infrastructure, utilizing blockchain across the world, or all sorts of different projects. It's been incredible. There's the money in the background in terms of investors, a lot of VC stuff too. It hasn't slowed down. In fact, in some cases, it's sped up. And so this isn't something that's going away. There's real use case here. There's real utility to this, and it's going to be messy along the way, and we're going to figure it all out. But it's here to stay, and that is something worth being excited about, I personally think, just for me. And last shot here, let's see what the market cap's at. Yeah, so it's at 115 billion. We've got XRP at 31 cents. We got Bitcoin at just under $3,500. And I think, I want to come back to this video like 5 years from now and just hear me say those prices. That's the reason I thought I'd mention this. I want to hear me say, oh yeah, we've got XRP today at 31 cents. Bitcoin at $3,490.58. Because, guys, what do you think it'll be worth in 5 years or 10 years? But this comment here captured on YouTube forever. So anyway, I just thought I'd say that. All right, that's all I got for you guys. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say, do, or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Thank you for watching.